What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Sergeant Moose here, back with another The Texas Chainsaw Massacre video. And in today's video, guys, I want to talk about some improvements and additions that could be made going forward into 2024. That's right, guys. We have a new year, new stuff on the horizon for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. These are some improvements, guys, that I think can be made to improve the quality of life of the game. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Now, first and foremost, guys, I'm not going to be one of those guys. I know you've been seeing it a lot circulating on YouTube and different platforms as well. A lot of people making videos, rant videos, kind of, people pissed off about different things going on within the game itself. It's not going to be one of those videos, guys. We all know how things are going within the Texas Chainsaw Massacre community and the game itself, if you're part of it. But I want to talk about some improvements, guys, because I've been in this asymmetrical genre for a very long time now, for about 7 years-ish, and I've lived and died with these games. I've played most of them, especially most of the high horror IP games that have come out. I've played most of them. I've played them until they died, and I get really dedicated with these games, and Texas Chainsaw is another one. And this game, guys, out of every one that I've played in the past, this is the game that I want to see survive the most, because it's probably the asymmetrical game that I've had fun with the absolute most. This game has amazing legs to stand on, and I believe it has a very promising future if things are done right. But first and foremost, guys, we're going to talk about some things that need changed, and we're going to start with number one, guys. I kind of wrote a little list out here just so I don't forget anything, but we're going to start with number one, and I think it is, of course, content. And I know most of you guys are probably rolling your eyes right now. We all know this game needs content. All these games need regular content. And what I mean by that, guys, is I think we need to be drip-fed content. Now, what I mean by that is we don't need major content releases all the time, like very, very often. We don't need that. But I think what a good business model and idea would be for the developers to keep retention of the players playing the game would be maybe a DLC, maybe every month or at least every 2 months, of even just a cosmetic pack, maybe a weapon skin pack or a character skin pack, maybe an execution pack, something like that, maybe a character here and there. It doesn't have to be a mapping character every single time, but I think a drip feed of content would greatly help the retention for the player base. And I'm talking about paid content as well, guys, not in-game content. We're going to get to that here shortly, but I think a new DLC of content, whether it be something small like a cosmetic dropped here and there every month or so, would be ideal for this game. That is the thing with this asymmetrical type genre, guys, is players are always looking for something to grind, something new within the game, whether it be paid or something to grind. But it's always nice as a community to be able to see something new dropping in the game, maybe something you didn't expect. Even if it's small, it makes you want to get back into the game, try it out, check out what's new. So I think that'd be a good plan for the future as well. Now, next thing I want to talk about, guys, is the in-game rewards. Now, if you watched the Q&A with Gunn recently, they did mention that they are going to be implementing in-game rewards at some point, whether it be in-game currency or things that you can actually unlock simply by playing the game. Whether it'll be currency that you can buy items in-game that you can also purchase with real money, or it's going to be completely separate from monetized DLC, we do not know. But I will say, guys, this is something that needs to happen in the game. And the reason being is because I've talked to so many players over the course of this game's lifespan that have reached level 99 max level, that simply just lose interest after they hit level 99 because they think there's nothing left to do anymore. Sure, you can go and level up your perks with the characters. You can get your characters to level 3. But me personally, I have done all of that several months ago. And a lot of folks believe that after that, there's just nothing else to grind for. Now, see, I'm a little bit different, guys. I don't speak for the whole community in this regard because it takes a lot for me to get turned off by a game. And again, like I said, I've been 99 for several months now. I've had all the characters leveled up for several months, maxed out. And I still have a lot of fun with the game. But I know there's a lot of concerned folks out there who aren't like me, and I understand that completely. But what we need, guys, is some in-game stuff to grind for. Whether it be playing a character for so long, you unlock some kind of cool legacy skin, some kind of unique skin for that character, or, a family member, you play them for so long, you unlock some kind of cool weapon, or Leatherface, my buddy Bane mentioned like a golden chainsaw, I think would be badass if you get, so many kills. collectively with the family, maybe like 1,000 kills or something, you can unlock a chainsaw, which would be really cool. I think players would absolutely eat that shit up, man. I know I would myself, and it seems like, now I'm not a developer, it seems like something simple that could be added to the game. I'm not 100% sure on how simple that would be, but I feel like that would be a quick fix and definitely hold players and retain players for a little bit of a longer time. Now, to kind of reflect on that a little bit, guys, too, is one thing that I think would be massive for this game, and I think it should be in every single asymmetrical game, but it's not for some reason. It's hardly in any of them, is daily and weekly challenges. Now, this takes me back to Predator Hunting Grounds. This is the last asymmetrical game that did have daily and weekly challenges, and I really enjoyed that. However, all of the daily and weekly challenges on Predator Hunting Grounds were only for the fire team, which is also the survivor, as you would call them. And basically what it did was it helped balance out the queue times. So basically what Ilphonic did was they introduced these daily and weekly challenges for the survivor side because there were so many people queuing up to play as Predator, and what this did was it enticed people to play on that survivor side so they could get that currency, that in-game currency, and it helped balance out the queue times, and at the end of the day, it resulted in faster matchmaking times. Now, I think this game could also benefit from that majorly. So, for instance, right now, guys, there are way more victims playing this game than family. Now, you could introduce a daily and weekly challenge model for both sides, which would basically intrigue players that may be a family main or a victim main to play that other side. Like myself as me, being a family main 95% of the time, if I see some cool, victim challenges, daily challenges or weekly challenges, like for instance, maybe popping 10 locks with a victim, or maybe opening a specific exit multiple times with a victim for the daily challenge to get that in-game currency to unlock something, I'm going to play that even though I'm a family main. And what that's going to do is that's going to put more players in a specific pool. So right now we are kind of low on family members, so they could introduce family challenges and reward players for playing on the family side. And what that's going to do is that's going to make more players want to play on the family side and less players play on the victim side, which in turn is going to balance out the queue times and the matchmaking times. But aside from just balancing out the queue times, guys, I think the daily and weekly challenges just need to be in the game, because every single day when you want to boot up the game, you have something new to look forward to. And you're going to have to play a different character. You're going to have to play on a different side to, grind for whatever currency is going to be in the game to be able to unlock stuff. I think it's a rather simple mechanic that you can add to these games. It greatly increases the longevity and gives players a reason to come back and play each and every single day. Now, to reflect on that a little bit too, guys, we're going to talk about some broken stuff in the game. And what I mean by that is I'm not going to talk about Danny in this video. I'm not going to talk about Nancy. We do know that the issues with those characters, obviously Danny a little bit more. We know the issues there. I'm not going to get much into balancing today in this video, but I'm kind of talking about some internals with the game that's going to improve the game's longevity for the future. And to touch on the last topic, we're going to talk about queue times, guys. The lobbies in this game are absolutely broken. This is one of the biggest issues and flaws that this game has to date. And I know Gun is working on the lobbies. They're going to be removing the lobby timer here very soon. They did confirm that. But something has to be done with the lobbies to where we're not sitting in these lobbies forever waiting for them to populate. Now, I don't know much about servers. I don't know how they work, but there's something going on in the back end, it seems. Now, in a nutshell, it seems easy that, if people get into a lobby, someone leaves the lobby, it should backfill the lobby with somebody out there that's searching. And we know people are searching all the time, but for some reason, sometimes these lobbies just do not backfill, or else they will take an extremely long time to backfill with another player. I don't know what could be causing that. What's the issue there? I don't think it's a reason of, not enough players playing the game. I just think the servers simply aren't backfilling correctly. Now, it would be so much easier, so much faster, especially on victim side. Victim side queues take forever, guys. And the reason being is because, family members are just not populating. Now, there are not a lot of family members in this game, like I mentioned earlier, which I think the daily and weekly challenges would help with that. But at the same time, it doesn't seem like that's the only issue with the lobbies. It just seems like they are not backfilling correctly. I'd like to see Sumo maybe take a look at these servers, maybe take a look at these lobbies and see what's causing this issue, because there's no reason why the lobbies shouldn't be full almost every single time. It shouldn't take that long at all. So I think if we get the lobby issues figured out, guys, I think that'll be a massive turning point for the game. I think players would even come back to the game in that regard, because a lot of people leave these types of games simply because they don't feel like sitting in a lobby. But if you're getting faster queue times and you're able to jump in and have a quick turnaround rate with games, people are going to want to play it even more. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, guys, leading into the new year as well for this game is QA testing. Now, I'm not sure, how the QA system works at Gun, or who they have, if they have anybody contracted out to do that, to be able to test these DLCs, and even the stuff that's currently in the game as well. But I think something introduced into the game similar to Dead by Daylight, like a PTB, a player test build, that players can test new characters, new perks, different new maps even, before they release. So they could give the feedback to the devs, say, hey, this is overpowered, or this is underpowered. This should be fixed before this character releases. I think that would have been good with Danny and Nancy, and likewise of anything that's going to be coming out in the future as well. I think a QA test, just give us a branch. Unfortunately, it'd probably just have to be on PC, but give us a branch that we can go in and we can test out these new characters and maps, find any bugs. Maybe, if there's a new map, maybe there's a design flaw with one of the exits to where, people are escaping like in the first, 30 seconds. That may have to be fixed or patched or things like that. Or maybe a character's broken, he's too powerful, not powerful enough. Then they'll be able to go ahead and look at that. They'll be able to tune that, tweak that before they actually release it to the public to be bought for money. I think that'd be a good fix. This is what Dead by Daylight does so well with their characters. Now, granted, some of the characters in Dead by Daylight do still release overpowered or underpowered, but it is much better if you have the testing in ahead of time, because it's going to make for a much smoother release. Also, guys, I want to talk about penalties within game. Now, you might think, okay, well, this doesn't really, it's not much for the quality of life, but it really is, because here's the issue. When you enter a game, guys, and people see Danny, or, they see Connie and Danny, or, a family member they don't like, or anything at all that they simply just don't agree with, they know that they can leave a game with no repercussions whatsoever. They could simply just leave the game, bounce out, get into a lobby, and find another one. But also, guys, this leads back to longer queue times, longer matchmaking times, if you have people leaving lobbies, because it puts you back into the player pool. And then it also makes for, a pretty bad experience for the people that are still left into the game. Like if you're a family member, one of your family members leaves, say you're Leatherface or you're a hitchhiker, or somebody leaves, then you're stuck, and you kind of lose the passion to even play that game, because you don't have enough people to kill the victims, and chances are most of them are probably still going to get out. So I think there needs to be some kind of penalties. It doesn't have to be huge. Maybe like a 2-minute penalty for you leave the first time, then 5 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. But I know Gunn didn't really like the idea of doing this right off the bat, but I think it's proving to be true that in these asymmetrical games, you kind of have to do it, Evil Dead the game did that. Dead by Daylight does that as well. And even those games didn't do it at first, but now they do. And it definitely helped with matchmaking as well. And, of course, a better in-game experience, because no one wants people just DCing right off the bat whenever they start the game. It happens to be all the time, because I am kind of a solo queue warrior in these games. And, I'll just lose people randomly for no reason. And, it hinders my experience, because I'm having a hard time, going around and killing victims whenever it's just me and one other person. So, I think penalties would be a good addition as well, guys. Now, also, I wanted to mention, guys, one more thing. The horror factor in this game. The horror factor in this game is gone. And, I hate to say that, because whenever the tech test came out, and even when the game was first released, man, it was absolutely terrifying. Playing as a victim, playing, trying not to get killed by the family, you know, hiding, worrying the whole game, being stressed out. But now, with the current meta, the metagame in the game, and the perks and everything like that for victims, you don't have to be as scared, man. You don't have to worry about Leatherface if you have no cell. You know, it's different things like that. Different characters, extra drip. Bomb Squad, you know, Hitchhiker's Traps become kind of obsolete with Bomb Squad. Now, before we talk about balancing and nerfing perks and different things like that, I said that this video wouldn't be about balancing, but this is pretty much the culprit as to why there's no more horror factor in this game for a lot of folks, is because of the perks. I simply think, guys, the game should be slowed down. I think it needs to be more terrifying for the victims, and myself even playing victim included. I think, you know, there should be more of a stress factor, whether it be Grandpa not being able to be woke up for, you know, like the first 2 minutes of the match or something like that. No matter what you do, no matter how much noise you make in the basement, I feel like the victims are able to escape the basement too fast. And this is not, you know, this is not taking a shot at victims. You know, it's not their fault. I do this myself as a victim. You know, if I'm playing, I get out of the basement quickly if I can. But I think that the game needs to be tuned down a little bit, and not just so the family has more time to set up, but it's going to make it more difficult when the victims do get upstairs to be able to speed run things, speed run objectives, because the family is going to have a little more time to get set up and get started, and it doesn't have to become a speed run for both sides. Now, with all this stuff said, guys, I'm not going to be a Debbie Downer when it comes to this game. I'm not trying to sit here and say this game's going to be dead in 2024 or anything like that. These are just some simple suggestions that I have, me being somebody that's put, you know, 1,200 hours into this game so far, that I've seen within this game. And like I said, it doesn't come down to just me. You know, I feel pretty satisfied with it, but I know a lot of the community doesn't, and I can totally understand why. These are some changes I think would be good for everybody. It would help retain players. It would also bring players back and maybe even bring new players in. Like I said, the drip fed content, guys, the in-game rewards, you always got to have something to grind for in this game. And the reason why I didn't mention Battle Pass, even though I am not opposed to a Battle Pass, Gunn specifically said that they're not going to put a Battle Pass in the game, and I firmly believe that they are not going to put a Battle Pass in this game. I just don't see it happening. So as long as we're getting some kind of content that we can grind for regularly, I think that's going to keep players happy and make them want to keep playing the game, as opposed to just leveling 99, and then that's it, you hit a brick wall. But with that said, guys, you know, we always do the Texas Chainsaw Massacre content here on the channel. I stream this game 5 to 6 days a week. I want to thank you guys for watching the video, man. For all things the Texas Chainsaw Massacre content, feel free to keep it here on the channel. If you guys have any suggestions, please feel free to let me know down in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts on it as well, because I know there's a lot of concerned folks that play the game that also have suggestions too. But with that said, guys, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. My name is Sergeant Moose. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care.